Hello everyone, my name is Fuelfire, and yes, I had not only time, but also an idea for a new video, finally. Today I am going to address all tuning parts and changes I would do if I were a developer of this game. I will talk about them in chronological order, tell you my thoughts and what I would do with each of them to nerf or buff, as well as add possible quality of life improvements. Let's go. Number 1. The magnet is an okay tuning part. It does what it's supposed to do, but I think it's just a bit too weak. It has a range of 8.5 meters at max level and a draw force of 30. I would buff this part a bit by increasing the range to 10 meters and a draw force to 40 at max level. Number 2. The heavyweight has one purpose, breaking objects, and it really does that thing well. Sometimes we might even use it for no airtime distance because it's additional mass for the vehicle to stay on the ground easier. I think it needs neither a buff nor a nerf. Number 3. I actually think that wings are, for the most part, a well-balanced tuning part. There is just one issue. A handful of vehicles have nerfed wings with their duration lowered from 2.5 seconds to 1.8 seconds at level 15. This is completely fine for Superbike and Rotator, but I don't think Lowrider deserved nerfed wings because of its gravity physics. I would buff its wings to 2.5 seconds. Now I know that the Beast is supposed to be a joke vehicle, but it just does not deserve to have wings that 1. Don't give a boost and 2. Barely carry it in midair, just like Scooter used to be for the longest time. I would fix Beast's wings to work just like they do on all other vehicles. Number 4. Roll cage has never been a very useful common tuning part. We even break it off on vehicles that have one integrated, like Rally Car, when going for long distance adventure runs. I still think that the tuning part form of it should be buffed to 100 durability on all vehicles, especially monowheel. Plus, a percentage count of it should be shown somewhere on the screen so that the player knows how damaged and close to breaking it is, starting at 0% and breaking after going from 99 to 100 and then disabling itself. Number 5. The only time air control is ever used are a flip time attack and moon stunts. But hey, it does its job and it does it well. Nothing to complain or change about this one. Number 6. Winter tires are quite possibly the perfect common part. They give your vehicle more grip, with a bonus for snow and ice because that's their strength. Nothing else to say. Number 7. It was quite the funky idea to use a firework rocket as a booster on perfect starts. It's one of the most used rares in races, and for good reason. It is quite strong on many vehicles, but too many of them just don't benefit from it enough to be viable. Scooter, Beast, Rally Car, Racing Truck and Moonlander all need their Starboost to be buffed. And I would add this part to Monowheel because I believe it could benefit a lot from it now that masteries exist. Number 8. The Willieboost is definitely a solid tuning part. It's good for gaining speed, climbing hills, hell even in long jump it's used sometimes. And while it does its job well on almost all vehicles, 3 of them absolutely stink. Those are once again Scooter and Moonlander, but now Snowmobile too. I don't understand why Scooters and Moonlander's rare booster parts are so terrible, but something should be done about it. Scooter has working Kangaroo to help it out, but Moonlander doesn't. Number 9. Fum Boost used to be a top tier rare for a long time. All the way back in 2017, it used to work even while airborne. Even though Fingersoft reworked it, it remained strong until Afterburner and Kangaroo techniques dethroned it. Fum is still used on a handful of vehicles and many tracks, but almost none of them are world records anymore. It's still good in many adventure maps, but even there, Kangaroo has taken over long ago. With 450 boost, it is the second strongest rare after Starboost. I think it has its fair place in the game and does neither need a buff nor a nerf, except for much higher acceleration when on Scooter and Moonlander maybe. Number 10. The only times this part was ever really useful was back in 2018 when Buzz with the thrusters glitch ruled the game, and now that motocross can use double flip boost. This part could be much better if every flip after the first added 1 second of boost duration. That would mean that motocross stuntman mastery would need its boost to be nerfed though. All in all, it's a part that can be good only in niche situations, and I think it needs a buff. Number 11. Man, this game would not be the same without jump shocks. Can you believe they were added in 2018? This part probably changed the game more than Nitro has, while not being nearly as controversial. I believe they are quite well balanced, as lighter vehicles jump higher with them and vice versa. But a couple of vehicles could really need a small buff to their jump shocks. Those are Dune Buggy, Monster Truck, Mono Wheel, Beast and Raider. The rest I think is fine as is. Number 12. Landing boost goes hand in hand with jump shocks. I don't know any record that does not use landing boost together with them, except for the vehicles that don't have jump shocks, of course, like Chopper and Moonlander. It's a relatively well balanced part, and it has definitely found its place in the game about 2 to 3 years after it was added in 2017 with most of the other parts. Number 13. The Overcharge Tobo used to be the go-to tuning part for bursts of speed for a long time, until Nitro came around and made it almost 100% useless. As is the case for both Time Attack and Adventure, you won't see this part used anywhere anymore. It has become just as niche as Flip Boost because it just cannot compete with Nitro due to the required charge time and lack of power. There are a small handful of records left that use Turbo, but almost always will you see it be used together with Nitro. A buff won't help this tuning part, but a Nitro nerf definitely would. Number 14. When Afterburner was added to the game, people were kind of hesitant to use it, but not long after it began getting used more and more in Time Attack. It has its place in the game and I think it's pretty well balanced, no buffs or nerfs needed. Number 15. Spoiler is the latest added epic rarity part, being added in October 2022. It gives the vehicle a downforce-like formula, becoming stronger the faster you go. It is used in a couple tracks, useless in Adventure, but that was to be expected. Overall, I think it's an okay tuning part that does its job, maybe even too well sometimes, but I'm not here to complain. Number 16. Thrusters were definitely used more abundantly back when Nitro and Afterburner techniques weren't a thing. They're still used, especially in mountain-themed tracks as well as Adventure, to make City and Desert Rally easier. Now, the only vehicles that you will ever see using them are Buzz, Mono Wheel and Moonlander because of their necessity, but Hill Climber, Scooter, MK2, Motocross, Super Diesel, Chopper, Tank, Beast and Racing Truck might still occasionally use them. They are well balanced and they deserve to be in the game. Number 17. Fuel Boost has not necessarily fallen from grace, but it was definitely used a lot more before Nitro came around. You can see it being used together with Nitro because it's essentially a double boost just for one fuel canister. It is a solid tuning part, strong but not overpowered like a certain candidate that has been mentioned way too many times by now. All in all, it's a good part that requires neither a buff nor a nerf. Number 18. Now this tuning part has definitely fallen from grace, especially in time trials. Before Nitro was a thing, it was used quite often, and even more before Afterburner. It used to be at the top for a while and later got combined with Afterburner to make a powerful setup. Ever since Masteries became a thing, having it as the fourth part on Kangaroo in Adventure became the standard basically. It has kind of made a comeback that way, even though it isn't used as the primary gain speed, keep speed tuning part anymore. I don't think that's bad though, as it still does what it always did well. Last on the list, number 19. And now onto the most controversial thing in Hill Climb Racing 2 history, Nitro. This part in its current state should not exist. I strongly believe that Fingersoft did not, ever, playtest this at any given moment. The half boost fill on perfect starts is the one single reason this tuning part is so stupidly overpowered. I understand that they want the game to be fun, but I do not see how it's fun to have this part destroy over 85% of time trials, while other tuning parts are deep in its shadow. Nitro is all that time trials is now, and that is not fun, because there is no real diversity anymore. Many tunes and world records that people grinded for hours, days, weeks or even months were eliminated in the blink of an eye. If I were a developer, I would nerf Nitro by decreasing its boost strength and top speed and removing the boost fill on a perfect start. That way we might see some more diversity again, but knowing Fingersoft, this will probably never happen. Well then, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you all enjoyed.